Welcome to CareComp Insider, where high-tech facial recognition meets real-world intelligence.
About 90 million farmers in India did everything right. They registered for a government cash program. They linked their bank accounts. And then their 2,000 rupee payment just stopped. Not because anyone committed fraud. Because they didn't finish an identity verification step, many of them never fully understood. That 2,000 rupees is roughly $24. For a small farmer in rural India, it's not trivial. It's seed money, it's fertilizer, it's a month of breathing room. The program is called PM Kisan, and it's one of the largest direct benefit transfer systems on the planet. 3 times a year, the Indian government sends cash straight to farmers' bank accounts. But starting in 2026, the government made electronic Know Your Customer verification, EKYC, mandatory. If that step isn't complete, or if it's expired, the payment freezes automatically, even if every other detail is correct. Now, you might never have heard of PM Kisan, but if you've ever been locked out of your own bank account because of a verification glitch, this story is about you too. The 22nd installment alone reached roughly 93 million farmers back in March. The 23rd is expected this summer. And the question running through all of it is simple. When an identity system blocks the people it's supposed to serve, is the problem the technology or the way it was built? The most common reason a farmer doesn't receive their payment isn't fraud. It isn't a bank error. According to multiple Indian government and financial services sources, incomplete EKYC is the single most frequent cause of frozen installments. Other reasons exist: an Aadhaar number not linked to the right bank account, a mismatch in land records, incorrect bank details. But EKYC stands apart because it's the one that trips up the most people. And the way it works matters. Farmers can complete EKYC through 2 paths. One is online, using a one-time password sent to the mobile number linked to their Aadhaar card. The other is offline, walking to a common service center and doing a biometric scan, usually a thumbprint. Both sound straightforward. Neither is if you're a 60-year-old farmer in a village with spotty cell coverage and the nearest service center is an hour away. That gap between technically possible and actually completed is where the real story lives. According to research cited by Tech UK, about 7 in 10 financial institutions worldwide have adopted EKYC solutions to cut onboarding time and reduce identity fraud. That's a massive global shift. But adoption doesn't equal completion. Institutions that use fully integrated, end-to-end identity verification platforms report completion rates 2 to 4 times higher than those using patchwork systems. 2 to 4 times. That means the difference between a farmer getting paid and a farmer waiting months often comes down to how well the steps were stitched together, not whether the biometric match was accurate. And this is where the PM Kisan story connects to something much larger. The same friction patterns show up across agencies and programs around the world. Every extra screen, every additional redirect, every moment where a mobile session drops, each one shaves off a percentage of people who simply don't finish. In a mobile-first journey, and most of India's digital interactions are mobile-first, every interruption is a potential dead end. For compliance teams and investigators, this creates a paradox. KYC is supposed to be both a security gate and an access gate. It has to stop fraud and let legitimate people through. When the workflow is clunky, it becomes a bottleneck for both, blocking real users while still leaving gaps that sophisticated fraud can exploit. For the rest of us, it means the app that's supposed to deliver your benefit, verify your identity, or unlock your account might be failing you, not because the technology can't recognize you, but because the process was never designed for how you actually live. There's a reasonable counterargument. Tighter eKYC mandates exist because identity fraud is rising. Deepfakes, forged documents, synthetic identities. Governments and banks aren't adding verification steps for fun. The threat is real, but the PM Kisan case shows that security and usability aren't actually on opposite ends of a seesaw. The organizations that get both right do it through design, by reducing the number of steps, by building systems that work on low bandwidth connections, by making the biometric capture happen once instead of requiring re-verification every cycle. You don't have to weaken security to let a farmer finish the process. You have to build the process so the farmer can finish it. Most of the conversation around identity technology focuses on accuracy. Can the system match the right face, the right fingerprint, the right document? But 90 million frozen payments suggest the metric that actually determines whether a system works isn't accuracy. It's completion. The best match in the world means nothing if the person never gets to the matching step. So 90 million Indian farmers had their payments frozen, not because of fraud, not because of bad data, but because an identity verification step went unfinished. The technology to confirm who they are exists. The pathway to actually use it has too many points where real people fall off. That's not just a problem for farmers in rural India. Anyone who's ever abandoned a sign-up because the verification loop broke or waited weeks for a manual review that should have taken seconds, you've felt the same friction at a smaller scale. Identity systems shape who gets access and who gets left out. The question isn't whether the technology can recognize you. It's whether anyone built the door wide enough for you to walk through. The full story's in the description if you want the deep dive.
Now you know something most people in this industry don't. Use it. And when you're ready to put it to work, caracomp.com. We'll see you tomorrow.